If you believe in reincarnation, you can't just decide you're just going to escape the cycle of rebirth intellectually. It has to be real. It has to be uh, organic. It has to be a natural, sincere unfolding process. It has to be genuine. It can't just be something that some knowledge you attain. It has to be experienced to escape the cycle of rebirth. You can't just understand how the process works. Because it's like the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? Everything is just unfolding in its natural time and its natural course. It's not something that can be rushed or forced. Your understanding of these things um, have to be the complete experience. And this change, this cycle happens on different levels, many different levels of existence, spiritual, the physical, and all of the ones in between, from the germ all the way to the physical, adult manifestation of that thing. But, basically, it's just like in this life, for example. Typically people don't progress, they don't make a change in their life until they suffer a little bit, and the ones that just decide they're going to make a change in their life just because they're bored or, they want to learn something else, that doesn't always last, because it comes strictly from the intellectual. You see, it has to be something, this experience, this motivating force has to be emotional as well. It has to be a sincere, felt emotional experience that actually fuels and ignites the intellectual experience instead of the other way around. It's not about the intellectual, you know, forcing the emotion to work. Although that does have um, that is something that we can use and control and manipulate in our lives as we learn to control the polarities of vibration in our lives. But, for the most part, if something is going to be real and solid and stick and life transforming, it has to be like the complete process from beginning to end. It has to be an actual experience that is learned, um, and it takes root in us, and it really changes us. So, if you suffer in this life for whatever reasons, maybe it's drug addiction, any kind of addiction, um, whatever, food, sex, whatever, any of those addictions, once they take control of you, like some people, they don't care. They will just let it go and go, and until it completely destroys their life. And, you know, when it does destroy your life, sometimes that's what it takes because that emotional factor, you know, that natural unfolding um, of events, embracing the whole, the emotions and the thought process together, actually organically unfolding, um, working together, um, the male and the female actually having intercourse, intimate intercourse, not just superficial intercourse, but a deep, hardcore felt intercourse that happens naturally through the suffering. Um, and, if you suffer enough, you'll want to change in your life. And so it's the same thing about reincarnation. If you suffer enough in this physical realm, it has to be real. You can't just have an intellectual understanding of how reincarnation works and be like, "Oh, I'm going to escape it, whatever." Uh, it has to be real. You have to have experienced some pain in your life and understand the suffering of this world that we're in now, in order for the change to be real. And just like, you know, some people have addictions that they can't let go, so they hang on to them and they just keep doing them. And when they come back, you know, if they come back, if you believe in reincarnation, then they will sort of pick up where they left off, you know, and they'll just keep uh, progressing from the point that they left off. Just like animals, you know, that's how they evolve. That's how everything evolves. Everything starts from a germ, and it gains a certain amount of consciousness, self-awareness. You know, it progresses with the universe in its own time and its own maturity, and you know, and it dies and it comes back as something a little bit more conscious, a little bit more self-awareness, and it just keeps progressing and progressing until, you know, you leave the stage of germ, you become an insect, you become, you know, a mammal, you just keep upgrading the more consciousness and self-awareness you develop, you know. And so here we are as humans, you know, looking at these other things that, you know, that a lot of them, they don't have that self-awareness, that self-consciousness. They're just living as robots. They're still starting out. They're just going through these primal, um, you know, programming, where they're just surviving and living and progressing in consciousness and self-awareness. But eventually, you know, it's, if you watch dogs, for example, you can see some of them, they have human attributes, you know. They are, it's as if they are progressing, you know, and they're coming into to to evolve into something more than just a dog or a cat, you know. But anyways, you see a lot of these druggies, you know, on the street that are just probably gonna die that way. But you know, you still can't give up hope, because if you believe in reincarnation, they're gonna pick up where they left off, and eventually they will have suffered enough to where they decide to, you know, welcome the light, and to be more conscious, you know, and to be more self-aware and to be more proactive. But it's all in time, due time, and it has to be sincere and real. It can't just be something that you think you want to do because, you know, say people living healthy lifestyles is becoming trendy, so you want to, you know, you think the trend is cool and you want to be seen as that. Nah, it has to be who you are, you know. It can't just be something that you think is trendy. Anyways, so that's just some thoughts on reincarnation. Everything is evolving, and sometimes it takes a lot of suffering through many lifetimes. Um, but you know, also you can be so fully self-aware and so conscious that you know, none of it matters, because you understand your God self. You know, you understand that, um, you know, you understand the polarities of vibration. You understand that all is one, and that whether you're suffering or you're happy, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Everything is one. Just, you know, you're just moving around on the polarity scale. So you just don't really care. You just are, you know. You are that you are, you know. So, anyways, you know, that's why you have like people that have come to light, you know, and they have that self realization, and they still like to meddle in worldly pleasures. It's because there are those people that just, they're enlightened, and at the same time they understand whether they live or die from, you know, some self-inflicted illness from smoking or drinking or drugs, self gratification, whatever it is. They realize that it doesn't matter, because for it to matter would be to live in a realm of duality, to think that dying a certain way or living a certain way is better or worse than another way is simply living in a realm of duality. Your mental process is based in duality. So it's the idea is to escape that mental process, that way you look at the world, to change the way you judge, you know, and to sort of just embrace your godliness and understand that this whole realm is your realm. I mean, this physical, spiritual, you know, um, no matter the vibrational frequency you're in, it's your realm, and you're the one that is in control, and that you're not attaching onto emotions. You're not trying to completely, get overwhelmed by all of this stuff. But anyways, you simply are that you are. But my cigar's out. I gotta relight it. So peace and blessings.